What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Sports Talk with Broads, and what we are going to discuss today is some basketball, and Vegas set the odds for the 76ers and all of the NBA for their win totals for the season. Now, the Sixers get hit with 54.5 wins. That's a good number, honestly. That's a tough one to say, because if you were to ask me, will the Sixers win 54 or less games or more games? I really don't know. It's a tough one because you got to think, well, were they projected to win 40-ish last season and we went 52? Amazing jump, right? But to say, are we 2 more wins? Are we 1 more win with the roster we have bringing back? Are we about, we're in that ballpark. That's why Vegas is so tough to do. We're in that ballpark of another 52 to 55 game win season, honestly. That's where we're at. That's the ballpark. I'm okay with the number. I'm not upset about it. Last year, I looked at it, I was like, eh. But this year, you look at it, and I feel like they hit it right on the head. But looking at some other teams, I'm looking at what they put the Celtics at, what they put the Toronto Raptors at, to kind of compare, to see where are we? Where do we fall in the Eastern Conference? Well, how about this? Toronto, same thing, 54.5 games. So they see us around the same, Toronto and the 76ers, when it comes to the win totals of next season. The Celtics are obviously number 1 with 57.5 games. So that's where Vegas kind of sees the Western Conference playing out, which is kind of on the money, right? So what you're telling me they see us as 3-ish games different from the Celtics? Is that an extreme jump? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I like it. I actually like where the Sixers are at. Now, if you ask me where would I choose, I can never go lower, right? Because that means at some point then I'm rooting for the Sixers to lose because I don't want them to go over 54 games. That's not how I work. I would only bet if I think it's above, which I would bet above because I love the Sixers, and that means I can just keep rooting for them. But it's tough. It's tough to win over 54 games. It's not an easy task to win 56, 57, 58 games in a regular season. Staying in the Eastern Conference here, the Cavaliers are at 30.5. Talk about a huge jump from my man LeBron James, huh? You lose LeBron and you lose a lot of victories. Let's head over to the Western Conference. You have the Rockets, 54.5, just like the 76ers. But you need to factor in, obviously, in the Western Conference, it's a little bit different. Personally, yes, they add Carmelo Anthony, but I don't think that they are a better team than they were last season. That's just the truth. They lack defense. They lose defense and add someone like Carmelo Anthony, who is clearly a worse defender than Luka Mute and all these other players that they lost. The Lakers, 48.5. Now that one's kind of interesting. That's a tough one. You add LeBron James. You have Brandon Ingram, Kuzma, Lonzo. You got a young team, Josh Hart, and the addition of LeBron in the Western Conference. Can you see them winning over 48 basketball games in the West? I'm going to go yes. Am I a LeBron diehard fan? Yes. I'm going to go with, they can win more than 48. People are sleeping on the GOAT, I swear to you. The Warriors, 62.5. Could you imagine the Warriors next year in the West with a Lakers team that's way stronger, with a Rockets team that's still good? I mean, they're competitive. They're not as good as they were last year, but they can give the Warriors a lot of effort and a tough match in the regular season. You have the Thunder with the Paul George, Russell Westbrook. I mean, you obviously have a tougher Western Conference. 62-20. Could you see the Warriors actually doing that? My guess is lower. I'm going to go lower. These guys are getting tired. They've played a lot through the NBA postseason over the last couple years. That adds up to almost, another half of a season. So my guess is going to be lower than that. What I really want to focus in on is that 54 for the Sixers. And at the end of the day, I like the number, right? I'm not upset about it. I think that's a realistic figure. I would guess over because I would never bet under. Because that means at some point, like I said, I'm rooting for the Sixers to lose if they get close. I would never do that. So my guess would be over if they were to do it. They're not too far behind from the Boston Celtics when it comes to win totals in the regular season, set by Vegas. I like where they're at. I like where Vegas set them at. You got Joel Embiid. My man is so funny. He has a picture of him on Twitter. He's rolling a thing of bricks and says, I'm placing these out now so I don't miss the last winning shot to tie the game in the playoffs. And then his location was the TD Garden. I mean, this guy is just hilarious. He's putting in work this summer. He is going to be the player that is literally making an insane jump. And I hope Markelle Fultz is too, or we're screwed. But Joel Embiid is going to be something special this year. We thought he was last year. It's going to be even better. It really is. So 54.5. How do you feel about that as a Sixers fan? Do you think that that's too high? Do you think that's too low? I think it's right in the middle of the ballpark, right? We went 52 last year. How many more regular season wins are we really going to see out of this team? Hey, I hope I'm wrong. But I see about that 52 to 56 range. So it's tough to bet on this if I was a betting man. It really is. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time.